What is going on? Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy Morbius, and it is Tuesday, which means another episode of Comic Relief. I'm excited today. We got some people hanging out with us that hasn't been here for a while, so I can't wait to get into it today. I know y'all can't, so let's get this baby started. Oh, what is going on? Let's get some people up in here. See, I thought I had tapped you in. Didn't acting up already. What's going on, Paul? How you doing, my brother?
What's happening, brother? Good, man. Excellent.
Chilling, man. Excited. Yeah. Another Tuesday, man. And I'm really excited today because it's been a while since we got one of the horsemen's up on here. I know Scheme, he got an excuse, but Krash, I was like, come on, man, where Krash at, bro? And I was like, gotta get Krash, bro. It's been a minute, bro. What's going on?
Hey,
yo,
party people.
What's going on, man? How you been, brother?
Good, man. Good. Been doing really, really good. Still watching you guys on the fringes and shit. Just keeping myself busy with other things. I've been working on this album, on some music stuff lately. So I haven't really had a chance to kind of do some other stuff. But now we got the tail end of the album, and I reached out to you and I was like, yo, Morb, I'm down.
About that time, son. Time to get on and hang out with the fellas, man, and everyone else that is hanging out with us in the chat right now. Let's get into this chat real quick. Let's see who's hanging out with us. Of course, we got Big Daddy John in the building. What's going on, John? How you doing, my brother? Appreciate you as always. Blue Cow, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. Candace in the building. Yo, what's going on, Candace? And let's see who else is hanging out with us.
Leroy,
what's good, yo? My computer's like slow, man. I'm lagging over here, man. That's scary. Big Nigel, what's going on, man? Appreciate you, brother. Always hanging out with us as usual. And real quick, cheers to everybody. If you got a drink in your hand, salute to you. Cheers to everybody in the chat. Hopefully, y'all are staying hydrated as we are.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, today's topic, man, I just wanted to talk in general. I did throw in there the cosplay because I know that's always coming up with these comic conventions with cosplay and comic books. It's like, what they got to do with each other. But everybody has their opinions on it. So I threw that out there just kind of like trigger people and shit. So it's not like the main topic, but that's why I also said pros and cons of comic conventions. And one of them is, let's get into it with cosplay. Is cosplay a place for comic conventions, per se? As far as I've heard people say, hey, this is not a place for cosplay. It's just about the books. And then you got people who say, well, there's people who enjoy the books and their way of enjoying the books is through cosplay, dressing up as their favorite character and coming out and enjoying themselves. And they necessarily might not be comic collectors, but they enjoy the comic figures and they dress up as them. And that's part of their way of partaking in the community and being a part of the community, So with that being said, I'm going to go with Krash because you haven't been here in a minute. So Krash, what's your take on like that? We'll talk about other things, but right now we're talking about cosplay in regards to his relationship with Comic Cons, and I know you got big Comic Cons that kind of like are designed around that, but then you have conventional local Comic Cons. So I really want to touch on that mostly, like, local cons and these, what's your, take on it? How you feel about that when it comes to this?
All right. Well, before I give my 2 cents, I have to give a disclaimer to say that I've never been to a Comic-Con, first and foremost. So I know plenty of people have gone to it. I've heard people talk about it. So I just want to say that off top. But I do have an opinion on it. I think that if there's ever a place to do something like that, it's at these comic book conventions. I think it definitely adds another layer to the appreciation and just the whole culture of comic books. It adds that additional layer because they are, whether they read the comic books or not, they're cosplaying characters from the comic books. So this is I just think it adds to the culture. Sometimes there may be certain aspects of it that can get underneath certain hardcore comic collectors' skin. I can see that, but it's just one of those things that I think it enriches the culture more than it takes away from it.
Yeah, I know. It's like something like right here what Candace is saying. You know, I have mad respect for cosplay. I look forward to seeing them at the big con. Creative and impressive. You know, creativity is impressive. Yeah, definitely. And also, like, from what I heard, like, you know, because I was like looking this up, like, see what's going on. And, you know, not only just like these people, like what you said, that they're, you know, enjoying themselves, and that's how they enjoy themselves when they partake in, you know, in the whole comic thing, even though they don't collect. But it's also like what kind of is going on. People will say, well, it's a you know, art, you know, an expression, you know, through of art and creativity, you know, and using comic books as the foundation of that, you know, and you know, they're adding to it in a way as well, because it's like, you know, of course now you have to have, you know, giving people that space, you know, to express themselves, to do these things, and you know, I mean, cosplay at a football game is like, you know, might not work, you know, cosplay, you know,
unless you cosplay football. But yeah,
yeah,
that's why I said
right.
if entertainment, it would be there because
Right.
you know that's the space you can do. You're not going to be looked at as some weirdo if you do that any other time. This is the safe space to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
I think
people understand it.
I think personally, I think there just has to be like a medium, you know, a balance in it, because like as experiencing through going through cons, you know, when you're there, you know, as somebody who's there to buy books, you know, you're constantly like that slows you down, because now, yeah, it looks great. Don't get me wrong. There's times you see something that you're like, oh shit, that's actually pretty cool, you know. But then when I think when the convention is more cosplay than actual comic selling and comic, you know, then that's where it becomes a problem, because now you're just surrounded. You can't even get to books. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, then that's now you're like, fuck, what the hell? Like, I just want to buy these books. And like every time I turn around, I'm running into a fucking, you know, somebody dressed up and shit. So it's like, I could get that, you know, because I've been there at times, you know, where it's just, you know, the cosplay outweighs, you know, the comic aspect of the show. So that's where it gets annoying for me. You know what I mean? In my personal opinion, like I'm not saying they shouldn't be no cosplay at all. I'm just saying there has to be some type of like, you know what I mean, equation to it when you, you know, go to these cons, especially a small con. You know what I mean? When you go to these small places, you know, and it gets jam packed with people just dressing up, you know, it gets a little fucking annoying sometimes. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you trying to get around in Japan and everybody want to take pictures, and it's like, yo, I'm just trying to get to these books. You know what I mean? Like I get what you're doing, but it's like it kind of oversaturates. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on there, the you know, the whole, you know, concept of it. You know, when they say a comic con, you know, or comic convention, you know, that's what you're thinking. You know, you're just there to get books, and of course, people go to dress up and shit like that. But I think there just has to be like that medium when it comes to that shit. You can't just have like, you know, 80% cosplay and then like, you know, 20% comics. Like it's not, like I feel like that's just misleading now. Now you should just call it a fucking cosplay convention. You know what I mean? Instead of a comic convention. You know, so I think that's my take on it. Paul, pretty sure what your take on it, but let the people know what you think about it, brother.
Well, you know a show I went to last weekend, right?
Yes, sir. Talk about it.
I might have seen one person dressed up, but that show was heavy for books. So I think the thing is, as a guy that's just there for books, if I show up and all I see is people in costumes, I'm going to assume your selection of books is weak. That's just my opinion. You know, it's not true. I know it's not true because I know like San Diego, they're going to the heavy hitters in New York. But it just seems to me if that's basically what Morbius just said, then just separate that shit. If you all want to play dress up, like have a show for that. And then if you want people who are here for books, let us get in there and dig for some book. I don't want to be digging for a book and I got like, you know, Thor's hammer hit me in the back, or, you know, Carnage arms like bumping into me. You can't get to the boxes, you know. So I would say, I know you can't separate them, but you know, if you could chill it out a little bit, you know, like I love Terrificon, you know, but they don't have big. All right, I live in Rhode Island. All right, Comic Con is horrible. So I mean, I go in because I get in for, you know, anyway, but it's not good for books. Put it that way.
What about the thoughts that want half naked elves?
Come on, fish.
Fish always got to take it there, son. Love you, brother.
No,
Salute,
but even
Fish.
you think like King Khan, there was nobody dressed.
Right.
The thing that's different is right. When my son was little and I took him to small, I don't even call them like conventions, just small little comic book shows at like VFW posts or in the basement of like churches, whatever, just little local comic shows. My son would dress up with like his Captain America costume on. He just wanted to wear that because he knew it was going to be in a comic show. Like it was like pure. Now it's like big business. They got like competitions. They win shit. They got high profile IG people who do it. So I don't know. I mean, it's just a different thing now. It's just it lost context. To me, it's like
we got high profile IG people. God damn, I didn't even know that.
I'm talking high profile IG people who just they don't own one comic book. They just fucking dress up. So.
Tell me about it. Yo, that let's not forget the blue chip. So don't forget the blue chip. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget the blue chip.
Wow, yeah, we know.
You can get one too for $15 a month.
That's it. Hey, all you people who see them blue check marks, don't get excited. You can get one too.
You get one too, $15 a month, son. You can have 1,000 followers, bro. It don't matter.
No doubt. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't like it's not like I ain't gonna like not go to a show because of that, but you know, I feel like Terrificon does a pretty good job though. Like they separate like that, they got like a whole other wing where they do the cosplay like contest and you know all that type of shit.
Right, they got like a section.
I mean,
like where
you still got to avoid them when
catering
you're
for cosplay. You know, mainly. You know what I mean, and that's cool. That's cool. Like you know, because it's like I said, when you're there, you know, hunting. You know, because that's the whole point. That's how I see it. I see it like it's a comic convention. You know what I mean? We're there for comics. What up, Ragin? You know, we're there for the comic books, you know, but I've like everyone is saying here, you know, and it's been going on for the last couple of years, you know. Yeah, you do miss the San Diego Comic Con having a lot of comics like the old days, right? You know, they're starting to transition over more, you know, into the cosplay thing. You know, and I think that that's the problem that, you know, people are having, like, you know, guys that just want to go for the books. What up, Soph?
I mean, you can't blame the con promoters, right? Because they sell a lot more tickets to people who were showing up.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's a money game too, you know, and but at the end, you know, but also it's like, damn, you know, it's like for guys like us that I ain't there to dress up. It's like, fuck, man, like, I can't even get around sometimes because it's just so many people there.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're there is just to dress up, is to, you know, show off their outfits. And that's cool, but there has to be some type of fucking, you know, how can I say
etiquette or some shit.
Yeah, or like you said, like this happen area where it's just for the big collectors, you know, people want to collect, and then you separate that for like how they did with Terrificon. See, that's more easy because then you're able to get around and you don't feel like, God damn, like, you know, like overwhelmed because, you know, and it's not even like other buyers. It's like, it's different because then you feel that competition, you know, now you're just running into somebody. You're just like, yo, bro, you're slowing me down, man. Like, get the fuck out my way. Like, you know, it's like,
can't get down the aisle. You're like, what's going on down there? And there's a bunch of people trying to take a picture with like fucking,
you know what I'm saying? And like, move your fucking tail out the way. Like, nigga.
That's the other thing too, though. The cosplay is not even, it's not even sticking with comics.
No,
there's people there dressing up like non-comic shit. You know?
Oh yeah, well, I think a lot of it, a lot of the stuff I see, if you notice,
I'm like, who's that? I don't even know who that person is. You know,
more non-comics than comics.
That's some old man shit right there. But I mean, half of these new characters I see people dressing like, I don't even know who they are.
Old man shit. Paul's like, who's this young whippersnapper?
It is what it is. Like, who's that character?
Who the hell is that?
Oh, that's Submariner's niece. She's in the Agents of Atlas. You know, it's like, come on,
man. Oh man, but yeah, it's definitely changed over the years. That's for sure. I mean, going back a few years, you know, you wasn't seeing this. The only time you saw this really was like these big spots, like, you know, Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con. You would see a lot of that, you know what I mean? But like these small local ones, you wasn't really getting that. You know, it kind of like.
You know, let me ask you a question. As both of you guys have been to these joints, have you noticed that there was a difference once the MCU came around? Is that what maybe has changed it? Where like you just said, the small ones and not.
I mean, you
cosplay stuff.
Yeah, you could put a lot on the MCU. I think MCU has a big influence on comic sales, that cosplay. I mean, just in general, MCU really took this whole universe of comic books and and Marvel to another level. Of course, man. I think MCU had a big part to play in a lot of that. You know what I mean? What up, Albert?
That's why I thought the purist in me. Hey, what's going on, Albert? The purist in me doesn't even like that because they cosplay as the MCU versions. At least if you're gonna come as Doctor Strange, you better come looking like Vincent Price, not Benedict Cumberbatch. You know what I mean? I want you looking like old school Strange.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Right.
But that's what they do, right?
I didn't even know his fucking name.
Nah, I mean, it's the dude that plays Doctor Strange.
No, I know.
You know that is.
Your balls, busty balls.
But
yeah, man.
I mean, they cosplay as the MCU people.
Right.
I've seen dudes walking around looking like RDJ with the briefcase. They ain't even dressed like Iron Man. They're cosplaying as Tony Stark, So
well, they can't afford the Iron Man suit, man. They're not creative enough to make the Iron Man suit, so they figure we'll take the easy route and just go fucking Tony Stark's, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. That's the low budget cosplay. You know what I mean? I
understand. To do, just throw a suit on, put some light thing on your chest, and throw a goatee. Open a white like mine, and you can roll up in. You look like old man Stark if I roll in there. But
exactly. Oh man, I'm telling you, man, this shit. Like one thing also, like outside of cosplay, I wanted to also talk about different things.
So with the comment of the night.
Oh man, let's see. I see investors cosplay as comic collectors.
A lot of those costumes out
wow.
Might even be some of them up in this chat.
Always gotta go in.
I wish I could pin that motherfucker. I wish I could pin that shit to the top of the fucking.
That's on point. So
I need to pin this. Right. Somebody pin this goddamn comic. Oh, here we go. I can't pin it. God damn.
But they don't cosplay that just at cons. They cosplay that on IG too.
Yeah, exactly.
Collectors.
I think one of the things too, like at cons when you're not even just comic, local comic, when you go into like, you're hunting, it happens. I think like the how can I say it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like be courteous of the people who are like fucking digging next to you. This is another thing too that I get like, what the fuck, man? Like, I know I wanted to do a skit on this shit because there's like a person there's a few different type of people. You got the person that's like butts up right next to you as you're digging through a box. They're like literally right up on you. You know what I'm saying? Like or you get the half. They put half their body into like your area. You know what I'm saying? Like they're half in, half out, like reaching over in your box, and you're like, bro, can I just like finish digging? Like, I know you're not looking where I'm looking, but you're like looking, but you're in the same fucking box. Like, why are you looking in the same I don't know. To me, it's like that's a big fucking no. You don't dig into the same box I'm digging in. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, it's funny. You
unless we cool, unless I know you.
I was ready to say because you kind of did that to me at King Con. If we want to be honest.
No. Unless we cool, that's what I'm saying. Unless we cool. What up, Steve? We could do that because I don't mind anybody.
X took out that box of magazines, and before I could even look at it, it was like in front of you. You had half the stack out.
This nigga,
he was passing off the shit he was passing on to me.
I see that shit really hurt, son. I remember not to do that again.
Man, I was like, wow, this dude, he jacked me.
Personal space invaders, yes. Personal space invaders.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Space invaders. I like that.
Fuck it. That's perfect. Personal space invaders. These guys are annoying. You know what I mean? Or the reach over. You know what I mean? You got the guy who reaches over you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, man. You're hunched over, motherfucker. You just see an arm come over. You're like, yo, what the fuck you doing, man? Like, I'm telling you, dude. I've experienced so much shit, like hunting, like with people, like it's insane. Like that's what I think is one of the annoying shit is that, you know what I mean? People who just like in fridge or your fucking personal hunting space. Like, bro, this is my box. I'm right here. Like, give me some elbow room. Like, you know what it is too? I think people, and it happens to all of us. You just be like, yo, if he's there, he must be fine. He gonna find something good. So I'm gonna stand there. I'm gonna look too. See what, especially when motherfuckers start pulling shit out, and they're like, oh wow, this is great. You're like, God damn it. I knew I should have checked that motherfucking box.
It's like all those little fish that like swim around sharks. They're looking to get the crumbs at the
looking to get
shop.
they just like, yo, what he got? What he pulled out? Yo, what's in that box? Yo, he got that book out of there? Like, yo, what else
Morbius
is in there?
is looking in that box. There must be some good shit in there. Let me get up behind him.
Yeah, you motherfucker.
That's what they're doing.
That's what the fuck, nigga. I'm trying to keep this motherfucker got the hands of fucking gold over here, the fingers of gold. Nigga, I be going through like 30 boxes and shit and be like, oh, finally I found a good one. This motherfucker got a stack of shit. As soon as he gets to a box, oh, look at this. This is a rare fucking variant that's like $200. Look at that. Oh, wow, it's in a $1 box.
So that X-Men that time, that was
this motherfucker's like, oh, look at this. You know, he be just like, oh, look at this.
Somebody was sleeping. Krash probably knows about that book. Somebody was sleeping on that one.
Oh, hell yeah. You know?
The X-Men 25 from the 90s, the one when they rip out Wolverine's adamantium. They had the black. There's one that's like a half black and white cover,
bottom
like
tier
variant. They had that just in the mix of like 10 regular copies, all for like $3 or whatever. So
nice, fine, bro.
That's another thing too, man. Like when it comes to these, like, you know, cons now, I know prices are going up. Definitely, hotel prices are going up. The stays are going up. That is insane right now, man. Terrific Con, that shit doubled in fucking price. Like, what the fuck happened? You know, I know things are hard, but we ain't in the pandemic, so what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? They gave like double pandemic prices. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like a G, just you can't, not even looking at a book yet. You in for a G.
Yo, a G for 2 nights, bro. A G for 2 motherfucking nights. That's some bullshit.
In an Airbnb, bro. Damn.
I'm telling you, man, this shit is insane now. And that's another thing too. Like, you know, it's just so many things about like conventions that are just, you know, you got good things that people will point out, you know, community wise, you're able to build, you know what I mean? You're able to see people that, you know, if you've spoken to over the internet only, and you actually, you know, finally get to meet them in person at these cons, which pretty much happened to a lot of people in this chat with us, you know, where we've met them at cons for the first time in person. And, you know, so that you get able to like sell your books, move books, you know, vendors as a seller, you're able to set shop, you know, whatever, all those great things for the community, you know, and then you have, you know, the bullshit that comes with it, you know. Another thing too for these cons, what do you guys think were like, you know, I know with these big cons, they come and they help out, you know, when it comes to like food and shit like that, having food but what do you think about alcohol at these cons, bro? Because that shit could get you, man. That alcohol will fucking get you, and it's some sneaky shit, you know. Some sneaky shit when they sell that alcohol, because when that alcohol is in your system, man, those pockets get loose, you know, and you start getting silly, you know.
No, we're stacking up this summer.
Oh yeah.
And you can't buy drinks at the joint; you be broke. I mean, you can, but you're just gonna waste a lot of money.
You gotta come ready. It's a good thing that there's fridges at the hotels in Terrific in Mohegan Sun, because, you know, yeah, man, Leroy, come through, man. We're gonna be there, bro.
Definitely be there.
Come
I actually
through,
booked my hotel today.
We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna have a great time, man. We're gonna have a great time, brother. Finally get to meet you too in person, man. But yeah, I think these cons, you know, you got your, you know, like we were saying, you know, you have things that are beneficial to the community, but then again, there are things that, you know, it just is shitty about it. You know, it's not so much as the highlight, especially like, you know, when your ass get dehydrated and you're fucking walking for hours, don't even realize it, with a backpack full of books, and next thing you know, you like, holy shit, like you feel like your body's about to fucking fall apart. You got them corns fucking going and shit, like them hammer toes hammering.
Seriously.
Just go for a thermos. They got those gallon thermoses. You fill that bitch up with water, you should be good to go.
Yeah. But you forget that shit. Yeah, Leroy, we'll be at Mohegan. Yeah, you forget that shit though. You be in there like you remember it like 4 hours in and shit. You're
I
like,
know.
oh shit, that's right. My bottle of water.
Like I haven't had one water all day.
Because you're so you walk in there, bro, and this book. That's it's like you're a fucking chicken.
It's like food, beer, and that's it.
Book. Where the books at? Where the books at? Book. You know, and then you're running into everybody, so it gets very distracting in there. You know, you like me and Paul. We were saying we're being diligent this year. I know we've said it for many years, but this year will be the year that we actually stick to the list of what we want and what we're looking for. You know, I know there's always surprises that you jump out of it, but we're gonna do our best. We're gonna do our best.
Sound like a good plan until we walk through the doors, and we'll see what happens.
Right. I'm saying.
Try to stay focused, but
exactly, we will. You know, bottom tier. Yeah, we need more King Kongs around the country. I'm jealous. You Northeasters. Where you from, man? Let us know where you from. Yeah, definitely. King Kong actually was pretty good this year. Last year was disappointing.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I mean?
The
year before that, a little disappointing. But this year, actually, they had books and the prices weren't as crazy. So
I kind of was and King Kon's mostly like books. And really nobody dressed up there.
Nobody. Yeah, everybody's really trying to.
You might. So I'm thinking I was thinking of Saturday, but that's not going to work. So I might be able to head up there on Sunday.
Alabama. Oh, you from Alabama? All right, cool, man. Yeah, I could imagine out there. It's like, you don't really get too many cons and shit like that. You know, definitely, it's like, that's what I was thinking.
In Atlanta.
Say again.
Atlanta, so I can relate to dude. I guess because I don't go to them, I guess I don't miss them. But yeah, they really don't have a lot going on. I mean, they have they have a con every year that comes to Atlanta. It's a really big one. But I can't remember which one it is off the top.
Is that the Dragon something con or whatever?
Yep, that's it. The Dragon Con. That's a big one every year. I actually got a coworker that goes all the time.
That's not bad. 3 cons a year. That's not bad. That's solid. I go to 3 cons a year.
Basically,
I feel like that's the goal to like go to like 3 cons a year. That's like enough for me. You know what I mean?
That's enough for my budget. Put it
exactly. Like you saw my story and shit. My fucking bank account. That nigga be shutting all my comic dreams down. I'll be there sitting there like, yes, and then I could get this, and then I'll be like, hold on a second. That nigga be like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Getting none of that shit, nigga. Shut the fuck up. Get your ass back to the job, boy.
Seriously.
Where's that gonna be at?
Say again?
The Terrificon, where's that gonna be at?
That's in Mohegan Sun. That's in Connecticut. That's July, I think the 30th, 31st, and yeah, something like that. The 29th, 30th, 31st, is it? Am I wrong? Of July?
It's 28th to the 30th or something.
20th to okay, yeah. So yeah, that's where it's gonna be. It's like I said, it's not fucking cheap, man. Shit is fucking annoying, but as big if you budget yourself, you'll be able to pull it off. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
Budgeting myself, and I'll be able to pull it off.
It's a good one to take the old lady to too, Krash, because it's a casino.
Yeah.
So,
see, I'm going dolo, so it's kind of like tougher.
There's plenty of other shit to do, but
you're putting up all that money just for one fucking person. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like that's what it makes me feel like.
And, I know there's something. Baltimore. Then they have one that goes to Baltimore.
Yeah.
I mentioned
Baltimore Con. That's in October around that time. That's in October. Yeah. I haven't even gone to that one yet, man. I've been meaning to go for 2 years. Still haven't gone to that.
Yeah, I think if I do go to one, it may be that one.
Short Box Alive. What's that, Candace? I'm actually clueless to that. What's going on there?
I think it's on the West Coast.
On the West Coast? Oh, I don't even know that one. Didn't even hear about it. Let's see, Leroy. I'm down here in Charlotte, South Carolina. We have some decent cons every year. Atlanta, Charlotte, and Orlando are pretty close for the bigger cons, no doubt.
Far from Leroy.
Yeah, man. It's not far from you, bro. Yeah, man, definitely. That's what's up, man. Like, I think, like, yeah, we definitely are lucky being up here because obviously it's a bigger, it's more populated up in this area, I guess, so I guess we get, more cons and shit. But Oh, it's in Santa Carla. Oh, okay. It's in May. Gotcha. All right. All right. Well, look, he'll be there. Sov will be there. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to go.
You probably get up with Sov out there, man, because I'll be fucking tapped out. I'm always tapped out for Baltimore Con.
I know it sucks.
Like
It's
I
towards
could
the
never
end of the
get for
year,
Baltimore
man.
Con, and it's like King Con, Little Giant, and Little Giant. I even had to skip Little Giant this year, man. It's like the finances were just not catching up this year, bro. Just you know, because what it is like for my savings, when I move the money to my checking, it takes like 3 days. So during that 3 days, I'm just fine. So, but nah, man. But yeah, man, it's like I usually do that. We do the King Con, the Little Giant, and Terrific Con, and then it's like, all right, we're all conned out.
By the fall, I'm tapped out. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like
I would like to go to Baltimore, but
I would, man. I really would, man. But it's like, don't look like it's gonna happen. Don't look like it's gonna happen. Shit's been rough. But yeah, man. I think another thing about it, because I was like looking shit up, because I was like I really wanted to make sure I touched it, but also people were talking about like the one thing that I always hear that comes up a lot is like being inclusive, and giving that space to people to be able to be creative when it came to like cosplay and shit. Going back to that, something I forgot to have mentioned earlier. Was that like people want to like when they say like you want to be inclusive, where you want to give people that area to express themselves where they wouldn't normally would, because like obviously me personally I couldn't cosplay. You know what I mean? That's not my thing. You know what I mean? And I know there's people that probably want to do it and they're just embarrassed and don't know, if they dress up where they're gonna go. So that's what they were saying. Like these are places where people feel safe. You know what I mean? I don't know how safe you gotta feel, but they feel safe. You know what I'm saying? To dress up.
Nowadays, people need to feel real safe.
You know what I mean? Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, man. So I think that there is, you got your fun time at these cons, but I'm gonna tell you right now, these cons are work, man. You be beat the fuck up. You think that, going to the gym, you go to a con, man, and you walking around for fucking 10 hours straight.
15 hours on your feet.
On your feet
adds up, man.
Just that shit. You get upstairs by the end of the evening, getting ready to head out. You take a shower and you just like, damn, just want to stay right here and crash, son. Go to sleep. Your fucking legs, your feet are killing you. Your fucking calves are fucking burning. You're like, fuck. And then you fuck up because you bring the wrong sneakers. So your ass trying to be cute. You come in with your little fly sneakers, though, and you already know them fly sneakers are the most uncomfortable ones, the most fucked up ones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you want to come in with those instead of being smart and wearing some fucking, cogs or some shit, sandals and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like pull out the chancleta, son. Like you need some support, son. Like. But yeah, man, it's definitely taxing on the body, man. If you're not used to, going to these cons and stuff like that, you will feel it later on, especially if you're there like all day and then you go the next day and then you're there all day the next day, like you're gonna feel it. Come that Sunday, you know what I'm saying? Like Monday, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna be like, damn, you felt like you walk a marathon and shit,
And your wallet's gonna be feeling them fucking dealer prices too, man.
That's another one. That's the thing about it. Like these cons, a lot of times, like you wait for these cons because you don't want to spend this money on eBay. You know what I mean? You don't want to put up that extra shipping cost, or you already know. Like there's many of books that I'm watching, but I watch them because it's more for memory to remind me these are books that I want. I don't even purchase them. I just put them on there and have a whole list. Paul see my shit. I be having like fucking 70 fucking books on my list, but it's like I'm not gonna buy these 70 fucking books, but these are books that I want to remind myself, and I do that at con. There are times where I go into my shit. If I forget to write my list, I go into my eBay, and I'm looking into my eBay like, oh shit, that's right. I wanted this book. It's one of the books. Let me look for this shit now. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I always use my eBay watch list for that.
I use my eBay watch list, and I'm just there like, oh shit. you know, and then that's where you see the comparison, because you're looking at it on eBay and you're like, damn, this nigga had it for $95. And then you're looking at it in front of you and it's like, bro, 35, 40, word, crispy copy too. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, so that's why a lot of times you just hold out for these cons, because you're just like, you know what, man, why spend all this money on eBay and all when I could just wait it out, get to a con and hunt for this motherfucker and get a great deal for it, you know? And then sometimes you don't, you know,
It's
that's
gonna be the right kind of con though, right? Like you ain't gonna find deals like we got at Little Giant, like at Terrificon, you know? Because let's if we talking cons, let's get into another big pet peeve of ours, because I know we discussed it.
Yeah, I know.
You go to some of these dealers at these cons, they got like a wall full of slabs, some keys, and they got long boxes full of dog shit. Like there's no intermediate. Like I'm just looking for like a high grade non-key, like Bronze Age book. I don't need it slab. Don't put it on your wall and slab it. Just put that shit in some boxes for a decent price.
Right.
No, that's like they don't do that. They cater to like the key hunters and the slabbers. And you know, if you're trying to just finish runs with some nice quality books, you asked out. That's what I just end up going to eBay.
Well, who knows how much rent these dudes got to pay to park this shit up in there so they can sell those. So they,
I know it's
probably
expensive.
You know, everything's going up. I think that at the end of the day, I guess the question is, I know what cons used to be as far as what people are talking about. I don't have a personal attachment to them like you guys do, but the question is it even worth it to the money that you save on shipping online? I mean, you paying $1,000 for the weekend anyway for the hotel stay, and that's not including the food and all the other shit. And then
no, I get that. You know, that makes total sense. But you're also paying not only for the experience, but like I said, hanging out with people, get away. So it's a comic, right? But it's also like a getaway, a weekend getaway, you know, at the same time. So it's because you go at these cons, right? You got afterwards, you got the nightlife, you know, the partying, the drinking, the hanging out, the fucking music, you chilling, chopping it up till fucking 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, and then you're back the next day hunting, you know, and then you do it again if you're there for another night, you know. So I think like you're paying mostly for that, you know, a lot of times, because obviously there are other hotels around the area where you don't have to pay for that, you know, where you probably pay like maybe $400 or $500 for those 2 nights, you know, but you just got to drive, you know, maybe a mile to the fucking Mohegan Sun, you know, but, you know, that's just on the person, you know, you could also save that way. But if you're okay and you know you could figure it out and you could manage it, then fuck it, then yeah, because you're paying for that experience to get away, hang out with your peoples, have a good time. I think that's what mostly it is, you know. But at the same time, what the benefit out of that is that you're getting such great deals, because if you look at the books, if you was to pull out the books, let's say you got a good 25, 30 books out of Terrificon, right? Good books. If you was to tally that shit up on what they're charging on eBay, you're looking at 3 times what you would have paid. You know what I mean? Coming out of a con, you know, unless you got jerked, you know what I mean? Unless you ain't worked deals out and you fucking went for whatever price they gave you, then that's on you. But if you hustling out there and you trying to work deals, trust me, you will get. I've seen shit on there that were Paul that I'm like, yo, Paul, look, like on eBay, this shit is going for like $300. You know what I'm saying? And right here, nigga got it for like 90. You know what I'm saying? 100. You're like, yo, give me that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it.
I'd much rather buy my shit in person, you know?
You know, he got it for $1 and you still like, yo, I give me 80. You know what I'm saying? You take 80, you know what I mean? So you still trying to hit him in the head. You know?
I'm looking at the comment. Luke House is saying about how he's hitting the smaller ones in Indiana. And I guess that would be my next question, because I understand what you're saying, that it's a good time. I get it. And it's always been that way. What I'm trying to address now is it getting to the point where it's cost prohibitive? I know it's more comics. I get that.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there.
Like, it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, now it's no longer. It's hitting my pocket more so. I was having fun and getting books. But now it's like,
now it's not no much. It's not as fun as before, right? You know,
and if you're strategic about it and go to the ones that are local to you, and I guess you'd be lucky if you're around a big municipality like New York and Atlanta and Baltimore, where you don't really have to pay for the hotel because you live right next to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, King Kong was nice. I crashed on Morbius's floor. You don't have to get a hotel room. Show was good. That was like a
nice
cheap,
air mattress,
cheap
nice
show.
air mattress, son. It wasn't like
It
yeah, it
was.
wasn't like
Yeah, no,
bare.
I wasn't literally on his floor. But,
You know, people gonna be like, "Damn, fuck Morbius, bro. That's how you treat your
sleeping
friends."
bag.
Nah, brand new motherfucking nice air mattress.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was comfy.
Hooked them up. You know what I'm saying? And we had a great time. We were able to hang out, have a good time. Michelle, Justin, you know what I mean? Everybody was there hanging out. So we had a good time, man. But yeah, man, I you know, it really makes sense to that, you know, where you're just like, man said the floor. You know what I'm saying, Leroy? You know what I'm saying? Like he made it sound like I had that motherfucker on the floor and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm on some bummed out shit, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, exactly.
About
like,
one episode of fucking Bad Batch, and I was out.
Literally getting there. You know what I mean? Where it's at that point, you know, that financially, it's a burden, you know, to get books. It's like, if I gotta pay that much money, you know what I mean? It's like, damn, it's not even worth it anymore. You know, to me, I haven't got to that threshold yet. But when I get there, it's gonna be like, I'm done. You know what I mean? I can't go to these shits no more. And then I have to resort to hunting locally. And then if I can't find it locally, then I'm gonna be fucking, you know, because Paul, he's the one that makes the big bucks now with his all fucking, his new position and shit. He making like that.
Paul Stowe over here saying 45 minutes, but I'm just gonna get the hotel. He's like, all right, bro.
Honestly, that is true though. I only probably live like 50 minutes to an hour away.
Yeah,
but it's still worth it. Like Morbius was kind of saying, because it's I'm going there for just beyond like the going to link up with him. It's almost like my wife gets to do what she wants in the casino. You know, it's that's like
it's literally like a mini vacay, like a weekend vacay. Yeah. It literally is a weekend vacay. You're walking around in this environment where there's food, there's clubs, there's bars, there's everything 24/7. Like, you know what I mean? You got the fucking, the casino, and so you're just like in that fucking ambiance, and it just feels like you're in a fucking Caribbean fucking, getaway and shit, like inside, you know what I mean? You feel like if you step outside, you're gonna walk to a beach and shit. But you're literally,
and it's all comic like people for the most part.
Right, and it's everybody from the community, so it's pretty fucking cool. You're walking down, it's like fucking who knows how many fucking, how far down, and you're running into people and shit, and you're trying to get to another fucking restaurant, and you're like, oh, these guys over here, we go meet you over there, and it's just fun.
Everybody knows this guy, so everybody's, Morbius, what's up?
They always talk about Paul and PJ. They don't never say Morbius. They don't talk about Morbius. They be like PJ with some clean, crispy, silver age books. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could be like him. It's
definitely a dope weekend.
Shout out to Pressable Defects, man. Pressable Defects gave us a shout out. Shout out to the Butcher. You know what I mean? Forge.
Good dude.
They had their show yesterday. They were talking about slabs, and I'm telling you guys, it's soon y'all will come to the dark side. And when I say dark side, I mean the raw side. You know what I mean? You will soon come to the raw side. It's the dark side. People think like, oh, isn't that the light side? No, that's slabs, you pussies. Nobody fucking Jedi's over here. We fucking Sith Lords, all right? We fucking dominate.
You don't understand the power of the raw side.
You don't understand the power of the dark side. It's the raw books, man. That's where we come from, man. Shout out to President. They gave us a shout out, and hey, man, it's gonna come with time, but eventually all you slabbers are gonna realize, man, it's not the way to go, man. Not the way to go.
You've been doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. That's not the way you do it. That's not how you collect.
But speaking of them, those are other dudes that we see at shows, see them around, hang out with and stuff. So that's another plus of the Comic Cons, is being able to link up with people you otherwise probably wouldn't.
Yeah, like the Butcher, shout out Coco. What's going on? I didn't even know you was in the building.
It was good, Coco.
Like definitely like the Butcher, man. Like last year, fuck. He was fucking flying, bro. It happens, man. Sometimes motherfuckers drink too early, too quick, too soon, and it's only like 9 o'clock at night, and motherfuckers is looking like it's 4 a.m. type shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like, whoa, this motherfucker flying. You know, and it's funny because that, and shout out to the butcher, man, because that he keeps it 100, man. And he you know, and then those are the funny shit that happened that you just gotta laugh at. You know what I mean? When you just in that environment, man, it's fucking. So I enjoy it, man. To be honest, like I enjoy it. It just feels good to be around people, see everybody and shit, talk shit, you know, and just hunting, man. Just, you know, digging for some good books and chopping it up with some good vendors and seeing some artists. That's another thing. A lot of people go to these cons are for artists. They want to get these signatures, want to get to powwow, want to get some artwork done. You know what I mean? I know last year Justin had got some artwork done. I know a few people. So always getting some signatures. He got like, I don't know how many more fucking signatures he's gonna fit on that ghostwriter, but definitely I know he's like he's making pages that don't even exist. He's just stapling in that motherfucker,
and he gets it signed by everybody. He's got like the guy. He's got like the guy that worked at the printing press, fucking signing it now. Like he gets everybody to sign it.
Out.
The fucking letterer, the colorist,
the inker. He do it all.
And everybody signing that.
This motherfucker got everybody. He got the executive producer. He got the
fucking secretary, the editor,
fucking everybody.
Editor's wife.
You got everybody, bro. I think
he's got friends with them people now, right? But he said he's tight with Howard Mackey and Ron Garney and Mark Tex. I don't want to mispronounce it again. He get all bent, but
yeah, don't get them all bent out of shape, bro.
Yeah, we had lunch, Big John. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we had a great time, man. Salute to Big John. He helped me get my name more. Definitely, man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. I worked hard for that, man. Worked hard for that. You just had to be there. I ain't even gonna get into the jokes. Just gonna get it.
Say you need to keep that to yourself.
Yeah, I ain't even gonna get into the jokes. These motherfuckers are busting my balls, literally. Yeah, just get Krash. He was like, "What the fuck that meant?"
I was gonna say at this point in the game, for me, the motivation is to go to these cons is to meet the folks that I've met online at this point, because what kept me out of cons initially will definitely keep me is what has me reluctant going now, which is crowds. I've never been a big fan of all them big old crowds. So as big of a hip hop fan I was growing up, I never went to the concerts because it's just too many goddamn people, and I'm not really. It's just not my vibe. A whole bunch of people, kind of. I don't know, man. And like waiting on lines, I know I've seen talk about he'll wait on like lines for hours to get people to sign shit. And as much of a huge fan I am of some of these artists, I wouldn't wait 20 minutes on the line.
No,
so
definitely not.
I can't do that.
When Claremont was there a couple of years ago, he kept having crazy lines every time I kind of go check it out. So I kind of waited till like the afternoon. I must have caught it at the right time. I went over there. There was like one person getting something signed. So I stepped up. I took a picture with him. He signed the book for me, talked to him for a few minutes. But yeah, some of the people are like, speaking of Rob Liefeld, we were talking shit about him earlier. He was at Rhode Island Comic-Con a few years ago. His fucking line was the whole building, the whole like hall, which is it's at the Rhode Island Convention Center. It's a fucking big room. The whole line down the center of the convention was for him. And it was all these fucking dweebs holding their like New Mutants 98 and 87. You know, it was all ready to get signed and CGC'd, you know. And I'm
right.
It was like, you know, like fucking like who the hell was the other artist that was there? There was another like really like old school artist that was there, and there was like nobody in front of him. It's like Howard Chaykin or something was there. He had like two people. This motherfucker Rob Liefeld had to be 100 people at least waiting to see him. It's like, why? They're trying to get them books signed to get that extra bread. They don't even give a fuck about them.
You know it. I fucking remember Little Giant, Saranko. I got on the line, standing there. I was literally the next person up. This motherfucker kept talking and talking and talking. And I was like, I'm out. Like, fuck this dude, man. And I'll never forget it. He literally looked at me. And while he's talking to the guy, he's looking at me. And you know, as he's looking at me, you're standing there like,
yeah, nah, Starenko likes to talk.
You
know? He's a fucking bullshitter.
You know, and then he's just staring at me, and I'm thinking like, all right, here I go. Okay, get my shit signed real quick, say what's up, talk some shit with this little skinny motherfucker. And next thing you know, I was like, I'm out. I couldn't wait no longer, bro. He had me there, I don't know what, like 20 minutes?
Yeah, that
15
was a long
minutes?
wait.
And he's just, and mind you, when I got on the line, he was already talking to homeboy. There was nobody there. It was just that dude. So I was like, oh, there's nobody there. It was like towards almost the ending of the fucking day. So I was like, you know what? Fucking, I just picked up a nice Sorenko, fucking the big ass fucking like
the history of comics. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, let me get him signed. He's right here. Nobody's on the line, just this one guy. 20 minutes later, I'm still there. But what pissed me off is that he kept looking at me as he's talking. Right. He did it 3 fucking times. I counted it.
You know I'm waiting for you, motherfucker. Pick it up.
You know, and every time I'm like giving him the, you know, like, hey, what's up, man? Like, good. You know what I'm saying? I'm right here, homie.
For you to sign. Hook me up,
I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And nothing,
Remember
bro.
We saw him the next day in the lobby. We saw him in the hotel.
I know his manager kept looking at me and was like, you know, with that look, like, you know, because I kept looking at her like, started giving her the, this nigga.
Wrap it up. Let's go.
This dude. You know? And then I was like, yo, I'm out. I just gave her the look like, fuck this shit. She was like, oh. I'm like, shut up. Fuck out of here. You know, fuck lines. Exactly, man. I can't do lines. I feel like if I'm standing on a line, I'm wasting time from hunting. Like I'm taking time away from hunting. Like I could be fucking hunting right now. Why I'm standing on this line for? That's how I see it. That's why I've never stood on lines, because I'm like, fuck a signature. I need to hunt. Like I don't need the signature. I'm not trying to make this bread. I need to hunt. You know what I mean? That's when Paul would like used to slab books and get signatures, and you know, he was he was sponsored by CGC.
They all fucking raw books. Oh, I just got a book signed a couple weeks ago. I posted a thing, but I took a picture with the artist. I fucking talked to him for a few minutes, you know, had him sign my book. There was no fucking witness. I didn't need no CGC shit. It got signed for me. It goes in my box. That's it.
Right. Your memory, you take that with you.
It. I wanted to thank him.
That's good enough, right?
That's it. That's what it should be about, right? Because these guys, all these other people are like fucking vultures. They're just trying to capitalize on these dudes. But at the same time, I don't begrudge, because a lot of these old comic book artists and shit are, you know, I'm not saying they're broke, but they didn't get paid like they should have been. So if they can get some supplemental income now by just signing books for these flippers, then hey, man, more power to them.
Right.
It's not that I don't hold that against them. That's on all these fucking, you know, flipping signature type guys.
Well, what's nice?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, exactly. They do the mailing. They mail.
Oh shit! They mail. Where you guys at?
They mail the book in to get fucking signed, and then they get it back graded.
Covers.
They don't even meet the fucking guy.
That fucking. That's why I tried you. If you're in here, god damn it, I was so annoyed. I saw that fucking X-Men, that 120. He fucking had like 30 fucking signatures all over it. And I was like, oh, that cover, bro, was destroyed. Like with all those fucking signatures, I was like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like I saw it like that. You know, I know everyone else saw the grade and they saw the signature and they were like, oh,
I know,
you know
right?
what I mean?
They don't even notice. How about the fucking book that's scribbled all on? You know what I mean?
Scribbled all over it.
Maybe you guys can help me out with this. Is it worth less money if they sign it someplace other than the cover?
Nope. I don't think
so. It's all about
old
school. They used to do it on the bottom of the first page. That used to be the old school way.
That's how my my Iron Man Demon in the Bottle is. I got it signed. Not I got it. I bought it that way. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. I bought it that way. I opened it, and on the bottom it had all the signatures on the first page. I had it right here. Let me see if I can take it out.
Cool.
Let me see if I can.
Because I mean, if you're getting it for the value, that's fine. But don't fuck with the cover if it's the same amount of money.
Leave that fucking cover alone.
Well, I saw
put it
like
on the back. Shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I saw like a high grade, like Silver Age book, like Avengers 4 or something like that, and it was signed. But I kept looking at the cover, like I don't see the fucking signature, but it was signed on the back cover. So even that to me is better than the fucking front cover, you know. They're just destroying like nice books with all that writing on it. I don't understand how it's worth.
Let me see. Hold on. I think I got it right. Here we go. I got yep, they're all right here. Got Michelin.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Leighton, they're all in there.
That's fucking
So-
that's Sov's old copy.
Yeah, this is
You got the letterer, the colorist on that shit.
Like that's the cool shit right here. You know what I mean? Like I bought this shit. I was like, oh shit, that's cool. The signatures were inside, not fucking up the front cover. You know, it was like dope. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? But when I say these covers with like 5, 6 signatures on it, you know, I'm just like, damn, man, that shit looks
like how the fuck did that happen?
Right, like you ruined the cover. How you still get a high grade? Like how you get a grade at all? You just destroyed the cover.
I still haven't had one slab dude answer me that question. Like who decided? Like,
and well, when we get on Pressable Defect show on Monday,
we're gonna have to run that up.
We're gonna run that. And guys, another thing
on the cover
in here, we're gonna be on Pressable Defects. Paul and I, this Monday, on their YouTube show, and we're gonna be talking, you know, raw books and slabs. And I know that we're already ready. I know because that's you know, they're all pretty slabbers in there. So I'm ready for the onslaught of all the slabbers to come at us.
What's the question?
That's it.
What's the question?
You didn't have it. The question.
Oh,
Paul was just saying it was a question.
Yeah, tell him, Paul. What's the question? You still haven't got an answer for it.
Is if I write on the cover or you write on the cover and you submitted that book to get graded, they would lower the grade because of that, because it's writing on the book.
Right.
So who deemed it okay if it's like a creator? Because to me, ink on the cover is ink on the cover. Yeah, that's great. It was Stan Lee, but it's still fucking ink all scribbled on the cover, right?
Exactly.
So obviously someone had to make the decision like, well, if it's the person who worked on the book, we're going to okay it. But I don't think collectors did that unless we did. I don't know. I didn't, but I mean, I don't know.
I did it.
So every time I ask a dude that, like, oh, did CGC come up with that? And they don't really, like, no one has like a good answer for it. I'm assuming CGC makes the rules, right?
Of course they do.
And they're like, okay, if you or I write on the book, it's not cool. But if a fucking, you know, Todd McFarlane writes all over the book, or John Byrne or Chris Claremont, it's okay.
It's okay. Anyone else?
So it's still ink on the book.
Right. When you send your book away to these people, they're assessing the value of the book. So if you have a famous person sign that famous person's signature adds value to the book. Of course, it takes away some of the value if you put it like on a cover. I agree with that. But I guess the question is, what's more valuable? The amount of value you took away by putting something on the cover, or the amount of value you gained by having a famous person's signature on it?
I would agree with that. I could say, like, okay, this book's only a 6.0, but it's signed by Todd McFarlane and whoever. So that may increase the value. My point is, though, they're grading the book on like a scale. There's guys that have books that are 9.8, which is like basically as high as you can generally get, with 4 or 5 fucking signatures on it. The whole cover is written on. How did it get a 9.8?
Well, how about this?
Saying, like, all those signatures add value, but it should lower the grade.
So let me say this real quick. Do they have a signature grading scale?
It's like they just excuse it if it's like.
Do they have a grading scale for signatures? Because if you have a grading scale for the condition of the book and that gives it value, and you're telling me the signature gives it value, so where's the grading scale for the signatures? How do you determine what signature, how the signature is made, the detail of the signature, what age the signature, when the signature was made? You know, was it right-handed, left-handed,
crayon,
black ink, white ink? Was it a contrasting ink? Was it one that didn't blend? Does that degrade?
Metallic. They like when they use that metallic,
like what?
Silver,
you know, so if we really want to get deep into this motherfucker, like, where's that at? You know what I'm saying?
I just want to know who makes the fucking rules.
You know,
that's all I want to know.
That'll shut me up.
Rules. If they just want to come out and say CGC makes the rules, I'd be like, all right, cool. It's dumb, but and that's how you play.
On, Bob. Yeah, there's plenty signature chasers out there. Plenty signature chasers. But I just feel like what we were just saying, like, where is the standard now for the signature grading? Because if that adds value, so like Paul was saying, so if that's a 6.0 book, Stan Lee signed it, now it becomes what, a 9.0, 9.8, because Stan Lee's signature's on it?
They still going by the fucking book, because I bet you had a book. If you had a signed 9.0,
how do you determine that value is what I'm trying to say.
The market. like the market would say stand out. More people want a Stan Lee book than a McFarlane book. So it's just that, you know, the market, that's where you get the value for that stuff. But before we get into another topic, the question, I guess, you know, I'm always playing devil's advocate. There's things you can do to add value to a book. What we're talking about here is putting a signature that adds value to the book. What are other ways? Well, pressing a book. How do you think people get these 10.0s? They'll press a book, they submit it, and that's something you can do to add value to the book, because there's no way that he got that from the publisher at a 10.0. He did something to make it a 10.0. So the same argument can be made with a signature.
But that's
like pressing value to it.
Right,
but the thing is, how finally did you press it? Did you press it hard enough to bring it 2 points, or does pressing it give it half a point? So then you can start getting into the minutia. But at the end of the day, it's still bringing some sort of value to it. And I guess it's relative to who's doing the grading at that point. And because as we know, they're not consistent. So I mean, we sit here argue about this all day.
Oh hell yeah, I know that. You know, I just don't see the point in it. Like, I just don't see how, you know, I get what you're saying, but there has to be some type of like standard to that. You can't just go on a whim and say, well, it's Stan Lee, so I'm just gonna say this number, because then it goes based on the individual again. So if us three are grading the same book based on how we feel about that signature, we're gonna grade it differently. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not going to be a consensus that we all feel like, well, it's a Stan Lee signature. Stan Lee signatures will automatically give you 2.7 additional grade to your book. Get what I'm saying? That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing, you know, I'm a fucking super Stan Lee fucking fan. Like, holy shit. Like, that's what you're telling me. I'm going to give this shit a 9.8. And this a dog shit fucking 4.0. You know, and then the next guy comes, he's like, well, I'm a Kirby fan. I'm not really a big Stan Lee. So I'm gonna give this fucking dog shit book, I'll give it a fucking 7. You know what I mean? Just for shit and giggles. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, where's that standard of saying this signature qualifies for this much, this signature qualifies for this? Even though if it's based on the consensus, there still has to be some type of standard to that consensus. You get what I'm saying? So if the value went up because Stan Lee died, so now instead of giving 2.7, we'll give it, you know, 3.8 extra on top of whatever grade you got, depending on what grade it is, obviously. So if you're sending a 9.0, we'll round that down. You know what I mean? But that's my thing. Where's the fucking standard to the signature? You know, and that's where that's another bullshit to the bullshit that CGC does. So we're out of time. I got to stop it there. Brother Krash, appreciate you, man. It's been a minute. Haven't had you on the show. You know, always love your input. Always enjoy your take on everything, because you always come from the left when we come from the right, and come from the right when we come from the left. And I love it. You know what I mean? Keeps everybody on their toes. Paul, you already know, my brother. Appreciate you always holding it down. And everybody in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you, everybody who catching the replay. Appreciate you guys, man. Y'all already know. Listen, cons or no cons, just make sure y'all keep picking those books up, man. And yeah, stay true to yourself, even if unfortunately it means to be fake. All right, guys, we're out of here, man. I appreciate you. Nah, man. Peace. Y'all already know how we do.